was a rough weekend, wouldn't you say? The bearish pressure was too much to handle, and as BTC succumbed, everything fell with it. Ethereum competitors, DeFi, and even NFTs. Oh, how quickly things can change in these markets. The question now is, will it switch back to bullish, or has the bear taken over? We'll find out in about 10 minutes, because it's time for Chico Crypto. So what could get these markets going once again? What could be the fuel that gets ignited, pushing Bitcoin past 50K again? The coin is really going to need some help to get there and beyond. Events, news, developments, a major enterprise going all in? Is anything like that coming up? Well, yes, an enterprise is getting ready to go all in. They filed their S1 and it looked oh so good for the power player out west early last week. Coinbase, but then deflation. But S1 and Coinbase, Chico, what are you talking about? Well, the most public event, and I've covered it thoroughly throughout last year and into this year, and it's the Coinbase IPO. I predicted March for the direct listing IPO, and that seems like it may be the case. It may be the case. Why just a maybe? The Coinbase IPO news and go live was the news to rocket Bitcoin and the crypto markets. What the heck happened? What's happening is next month is critical to see how healthy the crypto markets really are. The plan, in my opinion, was to go live in March in a bull market. So if it's not a bull, will Coinbase hold off on their IPO till the markets turn around? Could there be an IPO delay? We all know it wouldn't be good for the performance of their coin stock if Bitcoin was having a crash Armageddon when the bell rang. So, number one, to get the markets going again, Coinbase better have their IPO in March. And if you look at the data, Ki Young Ju tweeted it on Saturday. All the signals point towards buy. The Coinbase outflow, the Coinbase premium, the BTC well reserves, the stablecoin inflow of transactions. The only indicator pointing towards sell was those dang miners. Yes, those dang Chinese miners that are all oh so connected to the Chinese crypto exchanges that offer leverage trading. Yeah, if you didn't know, those miners who are getting many of those freshly minted BTC per day, who are some of the largest whales, are also some of the biggest actors on leverage exchanges. Back in March of last year during the crash apocalypse, Decrypt put out an article titled "Wipe Out: Why Many BTC Miners Just Got Liquidated in China." The article stated, "There are two types of miners who have survived the most recent bloodbath," Xizing Mao told me in an email. Mao is CEO and co-founder of Kobo Wallet and F2 Pool, one of the largest BTC mining pools in the world, and goes by the nickname Disgust Fish. The first type are those who bought the right financial derivatives, such as futures and put options. And the second type are those who hold onto their cash. Well, the reason the CEO of F2 Pool knows this is because they all work together, the large mining pools, mining whales, and the leverage exchanges. The friends of F2 Pool, aka whales on the exchanges and the exchange themselves, place shorts on those exchanges. F2 Pool dumps a big amount of Bitcoin, aka the large miner outflow, from Ju's tweet. Then the friends of F2 Pool increase their Bitcoin holdings massively, while the YouTubers are pushing you in the opposite way to get wrecked. There is always a transfer of wealth. Please, oh please do not leverage trade or support the YouTubers who push it. Leverage exchanges are not your friend if they are centralized. They are your foe. And some of them might be Coinbase's foe too right now. There is a lot of money to be made on the way down for these entities, leveraging what they have. But there is also a lot of money to be made on the way up for the exact same reason. So, who decides where the market will go? Three entities: Tether, whale miners, and the large Chinese exchanges where all the volume is. It's very clear and easy to see that, and I've been saying that's been the case for years now. Where this all really goes is a flip of the coin, but I do think there is one last hoorah, one last push up, which will coincide with the IPO. And this downward movement is just that, Bitcoin accumulation for the last hoorah of this run. Because less than 2 months ago, this news came out regarding these Chinese miners from NASDAQ, the place of the Coinbase IPO. Babel Finance is letting crypto mining firms use machines as loan collateral. Okay, first, who is Babel Finance? Just the most powerful crypto entity that no one knows of. But Decrypt covered them in September of last year in an article titled "Whistleblowers Level Accusations Against China's Biggest Crypto Lender, Babel Finance." They said this about Babel. Babel is considered one of the biggest lenders in crypto and acts as a link between Asia and the West. One of Babel's main customers is the mining sector, which borrows money to invest in new rigs and pay for electricity. Babel, in turn, is backed by interbank lending from the likes of Genesis and Tether. And the article brief states, anonymous sources who claim to have inside knowledge allege that Babel Finance has been misusing client funds via highly leveraged transactions and without permission. The sources have posted an audio recording of a Babel co-founder in which he calls the scheme the X Plan. The sources say the company got caught short during the March crash, but worked out an arrangement with Tether to repay its debt. Babel Finance denies the claims, says it has done nothing wrong, and asserts that the tape could be patched together. Babel did say exactly that in a Medium post a couple days later, denying everything. But what I find oh so interesting is what else they said. They stated, "We reflected on the March 12 incident internally and strengthened our internal risk controls further. We sought to prevent extreme long-tail risk and invested heavily in security, transparency, and compliance measures." More specifically, some of these new processes include, number 1, completion of custody agreements with Coinbase custody. Whoa, what? There are Coinbase ties to the entity making all the deals over in China, the big player, and the player was just letting miners use their machines as collateral in January? Back to the NASDAQ article, it stated, "For miners, the biggest asset they have is their machines," said Lei Tong, Babel's managing director of financial services. After the March 12 price drop, they really wanted to keep as many coins as possible. Putting their machines up as mortgage is a much better way for them to get loans versus using Bitcoin. They wouldn't be doing that if they expected a bull run. And guess who is one of Babel's customers? The mining pool accused of the recent massive sell-off. Business Wire covered their rebrand in 2019, and the article stated, "To date, Babel Finance has rapidly scaled with the help of a strong network of mining custody and lending partners, including the first listed, F2 Pool." Oh yeah, connections between everything, miners, exchanges, Tether, and even according to Babel, the largest entity in the West, Coinbase, who is ready to IPO. But not only according to Babel. In August of 2020, Babel put out this tweet. Babel Finance was proud to celebrate its 2-year anniversary today, and thanks to all our clients, partners, and investors for your trust and friendship. With a video of congratulations from Yeehee, Binance, Bonazoo, BitMax, Sparkpool, all the powerful Chinese entities. Oh hey, there is Arthur Hayes, but also this one.
Hi, this is Kayvon Piristani with Coinbase. Congratulations, Babel Finance, on your 2-year anniversary. Looking forward to many bright and mutually successful years ahead.
Mutually beneficial years ahead from Coinbase's head of institutional sales. But the price is going down. What is this bad news? Well, it's not necessarily. If I had to guess, some major whales just went against the script to accumulate more BTC before the big event in the West. Why do I think this? Well, let's just take a look-see at the BTC chart. It has been falling and falling. What about Coinbase pre-IPO contracts on the FTX exchange over the same time period? Pretty flat, with even some signs of pump. And Decrypt covered it just 2 days ago, Saturday, while the Bitcoin price was falling. Coinbase stock continues to rise ahead of public listing. Back to the Coinbase price chart, you can see it's hitting a resistance of around $373. It won't dip far below that level. I wonder why. Well, diving into that Decrypt article, it says it isn't currently clear how much a private stock is going for. Decrypt asked for the data, but it hadn't received a reply by the time the story went live. But the block last week reported that shares had settled a price of $373, valuing the firm at $100.3 billion. $373. Remember that, because it could be an indicator of bad news in the markets. If we, of course, see Bitcoin dip out of the low 40K range and into 30K, that's bad. But even worse would be the Coinbase pre-IPO contracts to dip far below 373 on FTX. If the price holds around this level and the next update from the Nasdaq private markets indicates it's staying there, this bull run is far from over. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.